East China Township Board meeting of December 19th, 2022 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Westrick.
Here.
Clerk Matei here. Treasurer Hart.
Here.
Trustee Babel.
Here.
Trustee Blackstock.
Here.
Trustee Knotts.
Here.
Trustee Richley.
Here.
All right, pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda? Any changes? Not? Motion be in order.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Richley.
Support.
Support by Babel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes, same thing.
I have one correction. I voted no on the consent agenda. That's the only correction.
Yeah, I think you did, didn't you? Okay.
With that correction, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Moved.
Support.
Support. Treasurer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Presentations, guest speakers. Paul just left, so I guess he's not singing. Public comment? Seeing none. Consent agenda. First one's financial reports. Second, historical commission minutes. Third is license attainments and rate adjustments as presented. Fourth is a letter of support for the St. Clair Sparks grant. Fifth one is Marine City Fire Authority run report, November of 2022, and number 6 is the Park Commission minutes of October of 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Then moved. Is there support?
Support.
Support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Disbursements. Ms. Hart.
We have disbursements. Payroll, $38,587.64. Accounts payable invoices, $38,402.53. Electronic fund transfers, $13,278.36. E-checks for $302.30. Tax disbursements of $6,575.47. And invoices totaling $157,407.17 for a grand total of $254,553.47. I'll make a motion to pay the bills in that total amount.
Moved by Hart.
Support.
Support by Mr. Dotz. Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call vote. Trustee Babel.
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock.
Yes.
Trustee Knotts.
Yes.
Trustee Richley.
Yes.
Treasurer Hart.
Yes.
Clerk Matei, yes. Supervisor Westrick.
Yes. I see no unfinished or old business on here. Moving on to new business. St. Clair Sewer Water Authority member appointment. We announced at our last meeting that there's an opening if there's anybody that was at all interested. I don't believe that anybody has responded other than Mr. James Light. Is that correct, Mr. Knotts? He's interested in doing that?
Mr. Light has told me he is interested in being a member of the committee, yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I would recommend it because
Okay.
he's had quite an involvement with the township, having been a trustee for many years, and so he's he's interested and not unfamiliar with the township.
And I think the clerk made a motion to approve Mr. James Light. Is that correct?
Yes, appoint Mr. Light for the remainder of the term.
I'll support that. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 2, request for conference attendance, wastewater plant supervisor. I'd like to attend the MWEA Wastewater Administrators Conference in Franklin, Michigan on January 19th and 20th as presented. The cost covered by the township as presented as well. It looks like it's $668.50, and as you well know, anything over 500 needs to come to us. But it looks like a pretty good thing. Chuck's talked about it, so I make a motion we approve. It's $668.50.
Support.
Support by Mr. Richley. Any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Richley.
Yes.
Trustee Knotts.
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock.
Yes.
Trustee Babel.
Yes.
Treasurer Hart.
Yes.
Clerk Matei, yes. Supervisor Westrick.
Yes. Motion carried. New business 3. Poverty exemption policy. Like to
This
talk
is
about
something that we do every year through our assessing department and Board of Review process. Resolution reads, Resolution 26-2022, 2023 Poverty Exemption Policy Guidelines and Application. Whereas the adoption of policy and guidelines for poverty exemptions is within the purview of the Township Board, and whereas Section 211.7 of the Michigan General Property Tax Act indicates that the principal residence of persons who, in the judgment of the supervisor and Board of Review, by reason of poverty, are unable to contribute toward the public charges, is eligible for exemption in whole or in part from taxation under this act. And whereas the East China Township Board of Trustees adopts a policy which includes an asset and income test, the Board of Review shall follow the East China Township's policy when granting or denying an exemption. If a person meets all eligibility requirements, the Board of Review must grant a full exemption equal to a 100% reduction in taxable value or a partial exemption equal to a 25% or 50% reduction in taxable value. And whereas a taxpayer who files for a poverty exemption in the March Board of Review is not prohibited from also filing a valuation appeal at the March Board of Review. Taxpayer may also file a poverty exemption application with the July or December Board of Review. Poverty exemption denials may be appealed to the Michigan Tax Tribunal, and whereas the updated policy and guidelines for poverty exemptions were previously established by the Township Board on January 17, 2022, are updated annually to reflect changes based on the federal poverty income standards published in the Federal Register by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. The State Tax Commission Bulletin 19 of 2022. The income levels are updated annually, and now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Review shall follow the stated policy and federal guidelines in granting or denying an exemption unless the Board of Review determines there are substantial and compelling reasons why there should be a deviation from the policy and federal guidelines, as these are communicated in writing to the claimant. I move for adoption.
It's been moved.
Support?
Support by Ms. Hart. Any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Clerk Matei, yes. Supervisor, Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Knotts?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. New business 4, BSNA timesheets module. Ms. Paparelli, like to speak a little bit about that? Is that coming from you?
Well, pretty much self-explanatory. If anyone has any questions, it's just another module for BSNA. It's been kind of on the back burner for a while.
It's an upgrade, is that right?
It's not an
We
upgrade,
don't
it's
have
an
it.
additional
A new
module.
module.
Okay.
We have building department, we have assessing, we have accounts payable, we have payroll, we have cash receipting, we have tax, and this is another module.
What would this module do, allow you to do that you're not already doing?
A lot more tracking of time more accurately. Employees will be putting their own time directly into their timesheets. There won't be as many chances for error between one person reading somebody's handwriting incorrectly, a 4 is a 9 is a 4, types of things like that. And we can also very specifically pinpoint, mostly, for example, where the DPW is spending their time. We'll be able to pull lots of reports.
New timesheet for them, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
This would not take the place of the office here, people punching in, or can they do that on the module?
No, this is not a time clock. That wouldn't change.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The time clock is separate from this. They would put their time in on a daily basis, but not punching in through this module at all.
Okay, the time clock then is for arrival and departure more.
The time clocks would remain as is for now.
It's 14 grand, 14,170.
Well, the line item for training, they put 6 days in there. I'm gonna guess we're only gonna need half of that. We have staff who is already familiar. We've done a few video trainings just to see how it would fit with our organization, and I'm fairly confident we're not gonna need 6 days of training, 2 or 3 maybe.
So you could do this with an up to approval with an up to number?
Sure, right.
Or not
Total
to-
number is
not to exceed.
14,175, is that correct?
That's as quoted with that 6 days.
Okay, all those other ones in behind are included in all that.
Yes.
Okay.
Are there just 2 people doing the training, or who are,
I'm not sure who they would send. I think,
no, on our staff?
oh, everyone would be trained. Everyone would come in and be trained. Some on how to do the employee self-reporting portal, because the employees will have to log in and they'll have to
Right.
learn how to do that.
Okay.
And really, that's the training, and then the implementation will be kind of sitting with us side by side.
For payroll
and
processing.
Assigning what GL numbers and making sure that the workflows are properly inputted so that we
Right.
can track all of those different GL.
So is Corinne and Wendy going to be the primary users of the processing part of it?
In the staff, it would
Yes.
be myself, Wendy, Corinne would be trained fully.
Okay, that was my question. Okay.
Just one real quick question, probably a dumb question, but under allocations, that's where where the money's coming from, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have some funds left over from things we had
Okay.
budgeted for.
Yeah.
Those
Okay.
are budget lines.
Okay, thank you.
I was planning on going to a conference here tomorrow. I guess I can't go now. I can get it in time.
You're
I can
out.
Spend my money.
You're out, chief.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, I will make a
I'll
motion,
contribute to the cause then, right?
I will make a motion, we purchase this timesheets module up to the amount of $14,175.
I'll support that. Any other discussion?
Yes, I have one other thing. Is this something that will require periodic maintenance or upgrading?
It'll be
Cost.
just like the other modules, there will be an annual fee affiliated with it, which gives us full support of the
Upgrades.
module.
How much does that sort of stuff run?
I think this one, wait, did they quote me that? It's probably included in the first.
It's usually like between 600 and 1,200 maybe?
Right, at the most. This is
Depending
a-
on the program.
This is a
They're all
less
different.
complicated module, I think, than some of the other
Is
ones.
that per module or for a whole thing?
It's per module.
Annual service fee is 1,000.
There it is. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, so I made the motion. Who supported?
I did.
Okay.
Anybody else? Discussion, anything? Clerk, please call the roll.
Clerk Matei, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Natz?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. New business 5, St. Clair County Road Commission right-of-way permit resolution. I guess I can make a motion to approve it, and then if we get a support, I'll go ahead and read it. That's how we should do it.
I'll do it if you want me
Just
to.
read it. and
Read it first?
You
I'll read it.
support it? Yeah.
I think you have to read them, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't know if we
Mhm.
made the motion first and then read it, or?
No, we read it and then
Yeah.
we,
Ralph, you want to go ahead?
Okay, resolution 27, 2002, performance and indemnification. Whereas the East China Charter Township from time to time makes application to the St. Clair County Board of Commission for permits herein to construct, operate, and/or maintain utility or other facilities, or to conduct other activities on, over, and under country road rights-of-way at various locations within and adjacent to our corporate limits. Therefore, in consideration of the department, St. Clair, granting such permit to East China Township, agrees it will faithfully fulfill all permit requirements and will indemnify, save harmless, represent, and defend the department and all officers, agents, and employees thereof, and those governmental bodies performing permit activities for the department and all officers, agents, and employees as pursuant to the maintenance contract from any and all claims of every kind for injuries due to death or any all persons, and for loss or damage to property, environmental damage or degradation, for attorney's fees, related costs arising out and under by reason of the presence of the township's facilities, and/or its installation, construction, operation, maintenance, and other activities which are being performed with the terms of the permit on, under, or after the county roads right away, except claims resulting from the sole negligence or willful acts or omissions of the county, its officers, agents, employees, contracting governmental bodies, and officers, agents, and employees thereof performing those permit activities. The county shall not be subject to any obligations or liabilities by vendors, contractors of the township, or their subcontractors, or any other persons not a party to the permit without a specific prior written consent and notwithstanding the issuance of the permit. It will, by its own volition and/or by request of the township, promptly restore and correct physical and operating damages to any state trunk line right-of-way resulting or arising out of the installation, construction, operation, or maintenance of the township's facilities pursuant to a permit issued by the county. The incorporation by the county of this resolution as part of the permit does not preclude the county from requiring additional performance security or insurance when deemed necessary by the county. This resolution shall continue in force from the date hereof until canceled by the township or the department with no less than 30 days prior written notice to the other party. It will not be canceled or otherwise terminated by the township with regard to any permit which has already been issued or activity which has already been undertaken. Be it further resolved that the following position or positions are hereby authorized to make application to the St. Clair County Road Commission for the necessary permit to work within county roads right away on behalf of the township and the supervisor and township manager. All other resolutions, parts of resolutions, insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, being the same hereby are rescinded. And I'll offer that resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Knotts.
I think he's supported. Okay, got a support?
Any other discussion? Routine stuff. All those in favor, oh, I can't. Gotta be a roll call, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, roll call vote. Clerk Matei, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Knotts?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. Number 6, MDOT right-of-way permit resolution number 28-2022.
The other one.
Performance resolution for municipalities. Resolved whereas the Charter Township of East China, hereinafter referred to as municipality, periodically applies to the Michigan Department of Transportation, herein referred to as the Department for Permits, referred to as permit, to construct, operate, use, and maintain facilities, utilities or other facilities, or to conduct other activities on, over, and under state highway right-of-way at various locations within and adjacent to its corporate limits. Now therefore, in consideration of the department granting such permit, the municipality agrees that each party to this resolution shall remain responsible for any claims arising out of their own acts and/or omissions during the performance of this resolution as provided by law. This resolution is not intended to increase either party's liability for or immunity from tort claims, nor shall it be interpreted as giving either party hereto a right of indemnification, either by agreement or at law, for claims arising out of the performance of this agreement. If any of the work performed for the municipality is performed by a contractor, municipality shall require its contractor to hold harmless, indemnify, and defend in litigation in the state of Michigan, the department and their agents and employees against any claims for damages to public or private property and for injuries to person arising out of the performance of the work, except for claims that result from the sole negligence or willful acts of the department, until the contractor achieves final acceptance of municipality. Failure of the municipality to require its contractor to indemnify the department as set forth above shall be considered a breach of its duties to the department. Any work performed by the municipality by a contractor or subcontractor will be solely as a contractor for the municipality and not as a contractor or agent of the department. The department shall not be subject to any obligations or liabilities by vendors and contractors of the municipality or their subcontractors or any other person not a party to the permit without the department's specific prior written consent and notwithstanding the issuance of the permit. Any claims by any contractor or subcontractor will be the sole responsibility of the municipality. The municipality shall take no lawful action or conduct which arises either directly or indirectly out of its obligations, responsibilities, and duties under the permit, which results in claims being asserted against or judgment being imposed against the state of Michigan, the Michigan Transportation Commission, the department, and all officers, agents, and employees thereof, and those contracting governmental bodies performing permit activities for the department, and all officers, agents, and employees thereof pursuant to a maintenance contract. In the event that the same occurs for the purposes of the permit, it will be considered as a breach of the permit, thereby giving the state of Michigan, the department, and/or Michigan Transportation Commission a right to seek and obtain any necessary relief or remedy, including but not by way of limitation, a judgment for money damages. The municipality will, by its own volition and/or request by the department, promptly restore and/or correct physical or operating damages to any state highway right-of-way resulting from the installation, construction, operation, and maintenance of the municipality's facilities according to a permit issued by the department. With respect to any activities authorized by a permit, when the municipality requires insurance on its own or its contractor's behalf, it shall also require that such policy include as named insured the state of Michigan, Transportation Commission, department, and all officers, agents, and employees thereof, and those governmental bodies performing permit activities for the department, and all officers, agents, and employees thereof pursuant to a maintenance contract. Incorporation by the department of this resolution as part of a permit does not prevent the department from requiring additional performance, security, or insurance before issuance of a permit. This resolution shall continue in force from this date until canceled by the municipality or the department with no less than 30 days prior written notice provided to the other party. It will not be canceled or otherwise terminated by the municipality with regard to any permit which has already been issued or activity which has already been undertaken. Be it further resolved that the following positions are authorized to apply to the department for the necessary permit to work within the state highway right-of-way on behalf of the municipality. Vernon Westrick, Township Supervisor, and Cynthia Paparelli, Township Manager. And there will be a test on this afterwards.
Good luck.
That's a mouthful.
Right?
I'll support that if that's what you...
I'll make the motion to approve, and Ralph will support that. Any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll. We got to do that, here it says it doesn't,
We still need it.
okay.
Clerk Matei, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Nuts?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. All right, thank you. Number 7, fourth quarter. Budget amendments, Resolution 30-2022, amendment to the 2022 budget, quarter 4. Charter Township of East China, St. Clair County, State of Michigan minutes. Let's see here. The following resolution was offered by, I don't need that either. Whereas East China Township budgeting and accounting practices stipulate quarterly budget amendments to reflect financial activities during the quarter and provide for basis for financial controls in future quarters, and whereas financial analysis of all fund accounts indicates a need to amend the budgets for general fund and capital projects, fund expenditures and revenues, now therefore be it resolved that the East China Board of Trustees hereby approves budget amendments for fourth quarter of 2022 as follows below. General fund grant revenue from $20,000 to $120,964, increase of $100,964. Under expenses, township manager from $63,966 to $68,856.
You could probably go to the bottom line on that one.
Kimmy? I don't know.
Yeah. Capital project.
Do I have to read them individually?
I'm sorry,
Do I need to read them all individually?
that's up to,
And therefore, and so forth, and therefore, at the end, here we have a total of $458,935 from to $519,603 for an increase in expenses of $60,668. Capital projects, the major road improvements went from $68,000 to $68,043, a difference of $43. Thank you, Mr. Knotts.
You offered the resolution?
That is a motion.
I'll support that.
Any discussion?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Rubbish and trash collection?
Mainly fuel surcharges.
That's what I figured. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
You read the first part, but what you read was Resolution 30-222.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hope you're ready for
Been
roll
moved and
call.
supported?
Yep.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call. Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Trustee Nuts?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Clerk Matei, yes. Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. Business 8, Parks Commission, Park Manager, Clerk Matei.
Okay, I asked to have this put on the agenda so we can move forward with this and try and, so the board can discuss and consider moving the park manager position and employee into a formal employee agreement as the township, not a park commission employee, and direct the township manager to draft an agreement and open a formal discussion with the park manager and park commission about such an agreement. Adoption of any agreement would first be subject to township board approval. So
I
we
have
want
one
to
question.
direct the
What
township
does the
manager.
park commission think of this? Are we in an adversarial position of this?
It has
Or
to do with
they more or less
budgeting.
agree?
I don't believe so, but.
It's more
I
of a
don't know
budgeting
exact-
function,
There's
why
been no
we're,
discussion at this point.
Pardon me?
There's been no discussion at this point because there's not been a proposal put forth.
right. So
Okay.
that's what we're asking this to do,
See, but
to
I'm
move it
getting at
forward.
They're not adamantly opposed, at least talking about it.
I'm sure they'll talk about it. They
Okay.
resolved their budget issue for next year, which includes keeping that person as an employee of the parks.
All right, I just don't want to bring up another problem.
Okay, so what do you need?
I'll make a motion that we have the township manager move forward to discuss,
An agreement?
yes, with the park commission and park manager.
Okay.
I'll support.
Trustee Babel supports. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Oh, sorry. I have some questions. What's the purpose of this? Like,
To allow, in my opinion, and anybody please kick me under the table, whatever you want, but it's to allow for better hands-on control. Remember, they were asking before about some help from our county, this, that, and everything else, and if we can bring it under the township and work directly more here. I know a big part of it's all the grant revenues that, I mean, they say they're gonna get, well, they never seem to, but we have other people that can assist with that for helping them get grants, because there's a lot of money out there for parks. It's a no-brainer for people who love to give money to parks and stuff. So those are some of the big ones that I noticed. I mean, there's a lot of other advantages too. We just have more idea what's going on and whatever. Take the burden off of the Parks Commission a little bit for the day-to-day activities,
Like if-
that stuff.
And
so
budgeting.
if we move forward and she becomes a township employee, like, is that going to alleviate, like, is it going to take it out of their budget or what?
We haven't decided that yet, or city hasn't decided that yet. She's looking into all the avenues on that. It was one of the ideas, I think, but I think it's more to get more communication back and forth and more understanding for the budget process and everything else, where the money comes from. Let the Parks Commission be more of the advisory role that this is what we want to do. And then, as a township employee, she can work towards, all right, how do I find the money to do that, you know?
I'm sorry.
We're still not going to talk about exactly what they want, you know, it's kind of, they're still going to kind of run what happens over there, but the day-to-day stuff, yes, that will be more under the township.
I was emailing back and forth with Cindy a while ago, like when we had the meeting about the
Right.
Budget
the budget.
meeting?
Yeah,
and then,
before
like,
the budget workshop.
Right, and that, like, I didn't catch all the discussion, but it's like, I think it kind of sounded like, it kind of sounded like they didn't want to do it, but then
Right.
I don't know what's.
But all the information hasn't been presented yet.
Right, right,
It was
right,
just
right.
the idea
Right.
of it that was presented at that point.
Never got into anything.
Right,
We
right.
lost time,
Right.
and then it never happened.
Right.
We had to get our meeting going, and so it
That's
never
just
took off.
speculation on my part, I'm not saying that's,
Right, I know.
that's what I envisioned, you know, what might be better for everybody,
Right.
but
You know,
that's strictly up to the manager and what they come up with.
all the things you just described, that this would help, they can do that. We, the township employees can do that with that township manager, whether or not she's an employee or not, for the township. And in fact, that's the way we have done it a lot in the past. You talk about, you can't take away the responsibility for running the parks from an elected commission. And if you take away their manager, you're getting a little bit of a problem. I think this is a little dicey.
I don't
Frankly.
think that was the intention, Ralph.
I don't know if it's an intention, I'm just saying that the park is an established elected commission. Now, why they did that back in the 1950s, I don't know, but it is one, and we have to live with that organization. And if they want to have a manager and they want to run the manager can still We can still make a provisions for that manager holds
I
meetings over
can't
here
imagine if
and
they
works
decide
with our people.
they
You
don't
don't have
want this
to
to
belong
happen,
to us
that
to
we would
do
do
that.
it, you know? I mean, it's not like we're gonna strong arm that.
We're just
It's gonna be-
presenting the opportunities in
To
the,
discuss.
a different way to look at it. Yes, it's coming back to the board. If they decide not to do it, then that's their prerogative.
You'd have to agree by then.
We're not forcing anything. We just want to
Right, right.
introduce the idea.
Right, it's not like we're gonna say, oh, we're gonna do this, no.
Right.
By all means.
I wasn't suggesting that, but
No,
the thing,
no.
so my question is this, so say we move forward and say we decide to do it. Is she gonna have a separate contract or is she gonna fall under a different contract? And,
To be decided, really.
but I mean, if she has her own contract, like, is she gonna get a retirement from the township, like how? Does she get one now? I don't know how that works, like.
No.
Get any benefits.
And in the past, all employees were township employees.
Right.
In the past. I'm not sure when this switched over.
This switched over, I can tell you exactly why it switched over. It switched over because the park commission had absolutely no idea what was going on in the parks. Because I was on the board at that time. We had an employee that managed the park that took direction from the supervisor. And we would get a stack of bills, and we'd go, what was that? And why is it $6,000? And who approved that? And who made that decision? So it went on for probably 6, 7 years like that. And the park commission got sick of not having a role in what happened in the parks. And then we were told by the supervisor, you're elected, you can go hire a manager if you want. So we went and hired a manager. And that's the big concern, is that you'll go back to not knowing what's going on. You'll have an elected body approving bills on things that no one had any clue that it was done, it was approved. So who made the decision to do it and everything else? And that's why there's a park manager to this day. Because that commission at the time was sick of rubber stamping things and had no idea what was going on in the park. We didn't even know when the gates were opening. They just opened and closed randomly. Sometimes the gentleman didn't show up. DPW would have to go over and unlock a gate. So there were a lot of issues with why that whole role came about.
Might be a good idea to have those items incorporated in any such agreement, so that
Well, to me, it
she
sounds,
may get paid by the township, may get paid by the
A
township.
job description would be
However,
nice.
The
that she
memory
takes the
tells
direction
me-
from the park commission.
In the
You
past,
know,
though, I think the
something along that,
manager
maybe that can be worked out.
answered to the DPW supervisor. That was the chain of command all those years.
Before that, before the new park manager was brought on board.
So question.
Well,
how-
even when she was here.
Does she have a job
I
description right
think it should
now?
be in between there somewhere instead of.
Well, I'm just saying
hands off,
history.
you know?
This is just history. I'm not saying it has,
The job description was written whenever that
old.
position was made.
right,
Yeah.
way, way,
It
way
hasn't been
back.
updated.
She
Right.
needs one of
Yes.
those, and then.
If she can get in.
No, I think.
Now, you said that the budget issue has been resolved?
Retirement fund, all that
As
stuff.
far as I know, a budget was presented to Corinne, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
our
have it here,
accountant,
and it's still in the red.
It's news to me. The numbers that I saw were not in the red.
You know, it would
That's
be-
another discussion.
That's another
Yeah,
discussion.
we don't wanna turn
because
left
In
and
the
go
course
down
of a
that
few days, we've
rabbit hole.
gotten numerous numbers, and none of them are the same, so.
Yeah, well, this one she printed on the
Again, that-
15th, I think
That would be
after she
better to
met
have
with
someone
Sarah.
like that, but-
You know, it would be, as Mr. Rector pointed out, it would be
But I think that's
a
what this
very
was trying
good
to
thing for the manager herself, because if she becomes a township employee, then she becomes eligible for township employee benefits, which she doesn't, not now. So in that regard,
I
it
would
would be.
caution you with that discussion.
Pardon me?
I would caution you with
Not
having that
necessarily,
discussion.
yeah.
That would, what you're describing would be a collective bargaining discussion, and that's not the direction that we would head.
Yeah, all these points
Okay.
basically need to be discussed with the manager
Right.
and the Parks Commission. Let them come up with what is amicable, if anything,
Right.
you know, and then it comes back.
It's an idea.
Yeah, it's
Whether
just,
it flies,
it's just,
If it doesn't work, then.
it's an approval to let the township manager engage conversation with Parks. And-
Right.
And
We're
I
trying
think
to
it's
move
important.
forward.
If it can't work, it can't work. If it can, it can.
Making a positive outcome
Yes, yes.
Right.
for everyone.
In an effort to try to
Forever.
make it better after what happened.
Correct.
That's kind of what this is about. Details, we don't have any.
Right. But I think this came about in order to try to help the budget, because there was such an issue with that too,
So
so.
moved and supported.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr.
Richley is nay.
Mr. Ridgely is the opposed, and Mr.
And
Knopf?
Knopf.
Okay,
And that's,
all right.
okay.
Number 9, resolution. Number 29-2022, appointment of building officials, zoning administrator, code inspectors, and ordinance enforcement officer, East China Township, County of St. Clair, Michigan. Whereas pursuant to 8B subsection 6 of the state Still DeRossett Hale Single State Construction Code Act 1972 VA 230 MCLA 125.1508B subsection 6. East China Township has, under ordinance 117 as amended, elected to administer and enforce the 1972 PA 230 and the Michigan Building Code, and whereas East China Township has designated the code officials as listed below to discharge the responsibilities of East China Township under 1972 PA 230 and all related township zoning and other ordinances. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Tracy Kalick is hereby appointed as building official, building inspector, zoning administrator for East China Township, charged with the duty of ensuring the issuance of permits, overseeing inspections, and keeping a record of all activities as part of the permanent records of East China Township, and discharging the responsibilities of the enforcing agency for East China Township under the provisions of the Michigan Construction Codes and in accordance with 1972 PA 230 for the year 2023. Furthermore, be it resolved that Kelly Smith shall be appointed as plumbing, mechanical, and code inspector, and Greg Furtaugh as electrical code inspector, and James Schaefer as ordinance enforcement officer for the Charter Township of East China for the year 2023. All resolutions and parts of resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution be and same hereby are rescinded. Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call vote. Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Nutt?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Clerk Matei, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. Okay. Announcements. I have one. Start with that. We received a summons for a court suit, whatever you want to call it, last week, relating to our building department and some other things. And we have to respond to that in a timely fashion, which was about a week ago already, but we also have a code violation ongoing, which I think most of you are pretty familiar with. Numerous violation notices have been sent on top of ones that have been sent, and we've sent this information to our council that we kind of have on staff now. We haven't heard a response in almost 4 weeks now. So, last week I made the executive decision as a legal agent of the township to hire a different firm to go ahead and handle these two issues. Fletcher, Fielco, and somebody is the name of the firm. They're the ones that actually responded to or are responding to our,
Bid process?
the bid that we have out now. But
This guy?
So, no,
Sounded like it when you were
but it's
trying
a
to
law firm report here that deals with a lot of different municipalities. And if nothing else, it's a good trial run, and then we know when we get the bid in, how they did for us. But we have to respond to it rather quickly, and we don't have someone responding to us now that we have. So I made that decision, and if there's any questions or comments, I'd be happy to hear them, but I had to go ahead and do that just to keep our feet out of hot water at the courts. And we want to keep this code thing, get it resolved. All right?
What are you proposing? Do we approve change of our council then?
No, not this time. I just hired these people to handle these two issues that are
Just these
outstanding.
issues?
Yep.
Yeah, you can do that.
We're not gonna, we'll wait till the bids come in.
All right,
But I just want to let you know, they are one of the firms that are responding to our request
okay,
for bids for that.
thank you.
That's all I have for that. Anybody else have anything?
Yes, I have one thing. Make sure I
Santa
get plenty
Claus?
of cookies. And I like plain, regular milk, please.
It's 8:10, your reindeer are getting a ticket.
My reindeer are getting really spooky out there.
All right, anybody else? Hearing none?
Yes.
Oh,
Happy holidays and happy new year to all of our boards, staff, employees, all of us, all of our residents. Thank you.
yeah, everybody that does a really good job at the township here, all the hard work.
Be safe.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Okay,
On that note, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
thank you.
8:10.
Then move to adjourn, Mr. Ritchley,
Support?
support by Ms. Hart. All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.